But yeah, I'm currently still at like 7K followers at the moment.
That's really good though. That's a good number. Weapons and I mean it was always great. You didn't know it was a series while I was going on. Any guesses on who the other two were?
Oh.
And I'm just like I'm a mess in that video when I get attacked.
Yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Sweetcast, the number 1 rated podcast in my heart, and number 4 rated podcast in Deathly Weekly listeners. I'm your host Liam, and today I am joined in my first ever virtual episode with my friend and guest Conrad. How you doing? So say hi.
Hello everyone, I'm doing fine by the way.
Awesome, perfect. All right, how does it feel to be on the first ever virtual remote podcast episode?
Well, to be honest, it's my very first time being on an actual podcast, and to be honest, I'm going to have quite the experience today.
Good, that's what I'm hoping for here. I'm hoping to give you quite a bit of an experience. So this is my first attempt at a remote podcast without having somebody actually here with me. So we'll be figuring this out. I think it should be just fine. It doesn't seem that hard. I've done recordings like this before for videos, which actually goes perfectly into the first topic for today, which is actually videos we've made together. And as I brought up, the recording virtually, especially like with you, we attempted to do a bit of a cringe reaction series to old videos that we've done together.
Oh yeah,
and it's been very similar to this. And speaking of cringy videos, I discussed, I think last week, but definitely in the first episode, which I'm not sure if you've seen either of them.
I've seen glimpses of them. It's a survivalist, I believe.
Yeah. So cause in the first episode we had hug pillows on Oliver. We chatted about YouTube videos we've done together, and it came up because it's always going to come up when we talk about channels and old videos. My first video on this channel, which was with you, and you were actually the only friend of mine that was in a video under Kicks and Fusion before I rebranded into McMaplet.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've brought this up before. I hate watching myself in that video because I'm just so controlling. But what was that? What was that experience like for you? Just being like the first video on this channel, like in an actual YouTube video? Because yeah, like what was that like?
Well, the first time that we recorded together was quite unexpected experience. I had fun personally.
No, good. I always like to hear that people have fun filming with me. That's what matters.
Yeah, exactly. But if I'm thinking that the first video we ever made, I think that was the one when you were wearing the mask, and we were eating Takis.
Oh my god!
Was that
I didn't even realize that was an older video.
Yeah,
I completely forgot about that. That was before Kicks and Fusion. That was like Burnt Wolf or something, or Laser Wolf. That was so long ago.
One of the two.
I was thinking of the Bean Boozled challenge, the first video that's on this channel, but I completely forgot about that video.
Oh yeah, that one. Oh goodness, you nearly almost got sick a few times there, and I nearly did as well. It's just the dramatic reactions we were doing when we're just eating the most disgusting flavored beans.
They were disgusting. Wow, yeah. I completely forgot about that first video that you were talking about. I remember now. We did it was like a taste test. It was you, me, and Matthew.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to show my face, so I wore a mask. It's actually up on the channel. It is on the channel, but that was filmed like way before everything else, but then uploaded I think 2018. I think that's what it was, but I might be completely off on that.
It might be a bit before that, I think.
Yeah, I think that's when it
But
came out. But yeah, it was wow.
yeah, like, but we were testing Takis,
Yeah.
and then we got like the Harry Potter
Oh
beans.
yeah. And we had the expired chocolate.
That's right.
That
Oh god.
that was so long ago.
That
Um
was.
wow. Yeah, no, when I thought of our first video together, like actual YouTube video, I thought of the Bean Boozled challenge, but I completely forgot that we'd actually like full on recorded that video.
Yeah.
And I just never
but-
that never saw the light of day until years later.
until years later. Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. But yeah, for the Bean Boozle, it was it was just it was fun. It was disgusting, and it almost got us sick.
It was so gross. I still have it, and I have a completely unopened box of Bean Boozled that I just haven't used yet. And I got it at the time because I thought, hey, it'd be a fun video to do. And I kind of just I got a little bit of PTSD from the first one. I don't want to do it again. I can't bring myself to do that or to find someone, like ask somebody to do it with me. It's a lot and it's too much for me. Definitely will happen one day, but like I think I've had this box of Bean Boozled for like at least 2 years now.
Oh god.
It's been a long time.
Imagine what the flavor is now.
Oh, they've definitely, you know, they've gotten better, and they've just it's really fermented, and flavors are definitely stronger and a little bit mixed, which is definitely bad news for us, the people eating it. But that's good news for the audience. It's great content doing that.
Yeah.
Wow, bring it. I thought that was the first video we'd filmed together. I completely forgot about the older ones because I know that like you and me specifically, we pretend to film videos all the time when we were younger.
Yeah, exactly. We used to do like that. Like we were in like a mindset of our own imagination, just like thinking of like the ideas, the opportunities we would implement if one day we would actually make those things that we've imagined come to life. And in a way, in today, we can.
Yeah,
we can make those things come to
life. Well, it is. I mean, I've had a channel. You have a TikTok that you've. I don't know if you've uploaded on it recently, but you were like doing a lot of videos on there.
The last time I uploaded on TikTok was a couple months ago. But yeah, I'm currently still at like 7K followers at the moment.
That's really good though. That's a good number.
Yeah, but I haven't retrieved any much good views ever since I did a very cringy one involving the meme around Reggie the Mouse. You do not want to know. Oh wait, you do.
I do know. I remember that.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, but like when we filmed stuff when we were like way younger, like 10, it's like young kids. Wait, because I started my channel when I was 13, so before that, we would like. It was always like either we'd pretend there was a camera there, because I remember we'd always do like gaming videos together, but we never had a camera ever. There was never any camera, but we'd sit there and we'd do commentary on the game as we're playing, and we pretend there was a camera. We'd go for like 2-3 hours, and we're like, okay guys, thanks so much for watching the video, hope you really enjoyed, and then we'd be done there. And then other times we would have a camera, but it wouldn't be recording because like I used a camcorder, and we always did point of view videos.
That's right.
Where I would hold the camera, or like whoever had the camera would hold it right on the chest, and we'd use the lens cover as like an eyelid opening. We get it halfway, and then we go and we'd have one hand, and we'd always do like, it was like we did like video games in real life for videos.
Yeah, exactly. We did that kind of thing.
Yeah, we always had like weapons, and I mean it was always great because there was never any costumes or anything. It was always just one of us going, and then somebody would play different characters in the same thing.
Yeah, we did that a lot. We
We
really did that a
we
lot.
did so much. We definitely should have recorded those. That would have been great content to put on YouTube now.
Yeah,
Showing where we started. We definitely recorded something.
yeah.
I don't think they were always just nothing. There's 100% clips of that somewhere that just needs to be found.
Yes.
No, wow, that I'm almost 20. That's so crazy to me. That I've
Right.
been doing, like, even just looking back at the YouTube videos, I look so young in those, and to know that I was making stuff even before that and just like pretending, that's weird. That's so weird to me to think about.
Yeah, it's an odd feeling, just like holy heck, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was always like you were always like really attached to that stuff, like the early videos, early like ideas, just pretending to make videos. We're always with you or Matthew, but mostly with you. It was usually
Yeah.
us doing it together, and then that was that. Um, and I mean, for the longest time, I expected you to make a YouTube channel too. After I launched mine, and then rebranded from Kicks and Fusion to make Maplet, and was making my own videos, and like you were coming out and helping with videos. I definitely expected you to one day be like, "Hey, here's my YouTube channel. Check out my videos."
Yeah. The reason I have to explain that is because um but there was a time where I was moving a lot around places, and a
Mhm.
lot of things just sort of got uh, out of track, so I couldn't have the time or like the money at that point to get like stuff like recording set
Fair
up.
enough.
I, di-
Yeah.
I didn't even have my own like microphone or webcam at that
Mhm.
time. I just yeah,
No, that's fair.
but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, because like out of everybody that I ever made videos with, you were always, and still kind of are always, the one that has the. You're always the first one to volunteer an idea for a video. You're always the first one, like, hey, I thought of this idea for a video, for a series or whatever, and it was always just
yeah,
like I don't know, just like I always kind of expected from, like, because you had so much creativity with that, you always came up with these ideas that I just kind of expected that was going to translate into you one day just being like, hey, why am I always giving away my ideas when I could just do my own thing? And I was always ready for the day where you'd be like, hey, guess what? I started my own YouTube channel.
yeah, yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that though.
Yeah, I mean, I was not surprised when you told me that you had a TikTok, because I knew one day you were going to have something. You're going to have
Least some
one of
sort of,
those.
like social media.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
just because you always come out with ideas, and we weren't together all the time to make all these
Yeah.
videos. So I was like, you have all these ideas, but you're not going to actually get to make them. And then you got a TikTok, and you start uploading there. I was like, hey, he's doing, like, you were doing like videos, like you have like all those different Jason masks. Those are awesome.
Yeah, I custom made each one of those masks. The first one I ever custom made was from a Calgary Expo event back in 2016, I think. That was when I went on TikTok, but before it was TikTok, it was Musically.
Oh yeah, it was Musically.
Yeah. So I basically customize it to the closest point where it's like withering up to like
Oh yeah.
yeah, like I added like splashes of red paint on it. Then it came to a point where I just eventually made the whole mask completely burnt alike because I don't know, because like the idea of a withered, burnt Jason mask sort of like hit me. It's just like, you know what? That's one thing no one has kind of done. I mean, there are YouTubers out there that do this kind of stuff as well. They customize the hockey mask into whatever they see fit or see creative.
Yeah, I did that
Which
once.
is oh yeah, you did
I made my own Jason mask, and then you completely completely upshowed me by pulling out yours. And that's why I just stick to buying masks and letting the creative one, letting you be the one that makes your own masks. Mine just, in comparison, they completely pale. They're just not nowhere near that level.
You'll have that one. I got you.
I do actually. It's in every. I think it's. I don't know if it's in the shot, but it hangs right above the couch, so it gets a lot of screen time because it's always there.
Amazing.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, it's a set piece now. It's a part of the McMafflet set.
It's the part of the very thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and because we filmed a lot of videos, especially videos where you were in a mask, because you always came out. Every time you came over, you always had a different costume.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if when we did the attacked by the creepy guy, I think it was what the video was called. If you were wearing a Jason mask or what it was the video where we pretended it was really late at night and I went outside, and that was like a first kind of creepy short narrative type video where we did like a lot of cool like camera stuff where you show up and then boom, like it cuts, and now we'd be able to do a smoother cut because then it's like a really like jarring cut, but like you rush at me and then you disappear, and then we come inside and I'm in here. I'm like, oh, we're safe, and flashlight goes out, and then it's knock the flashlight back and boom, you're there and you attack me. And I remember that's a memorable one because I had my tripod lying on my couch, and when you show up behind me, I wanted to do like the full like, oh, make it believable that like you're attacking me, like I'm scared and everything. I want to fall over, and I fell and I dropped the camera and it landed right on the middle of the tripod. I thought I shattered the lens. I thought I broke my camera.
That's right. I remember that almost happening when you were running down in the basement just to hide from me.
Yeah, no, I remember because we did that and it was like, you were like, oh, was that good? Like, do you want to do it again? And I was like, I think I might have broken my camera. I don't think we will be able to do it again. I think that might be it. And I was so like, oh, camera's broken. It's done. I've lost it. It's done for. No camera anymore. And luckily, camera was completely fine. Not a scratch. But and that's not the first time. Like, actually, no, I think that was the first time where I played loosey goosey with my camera and let it like my camera should be a stunt man. It's done so many stunts where it's actually like fallen, it's actually hit stuff. Like every time like the camera like falls or like it gets damaged or whatever, it's not like fancy editing. I actually do throw the camera around.
The camera is the true stuntman.
Like the camera actually does get knocked around when in videos. I'm not editing that, and like look now, man, that was really stupid. Because all it takes is one wrong drop, and I've ruined my camera, and I didn't have a second backup one, or a job to pay for a camera. And like now, I still like I'll throw the camera around a little bit for a shot to get what I want, but I'm also way safer because I know how much this camera costs, and I don't want to have to go pay it again. I'm at that point where I'm like, I'm comfortable playing fast and loose with the camera, but I'm not interested in breaking the camera. I have that line where I'm like, I'll think about it before I actually do it now. For the most part, sometimes I let it go. Like in the Cult of Mars series, when I do that trip in the Scariest Night video, and I do that roll first, that was an accident, and I definitely could have broken the camera there, and I could have ruined the entire time. But second, that was for because I lost my keys in that roll because I generally tripped, or I pretended to. I just remember I tripped and the camera actually smacked the ground, and I remember because the microphone was black and it rolled in the dirt and it was like brown, covered in chunks of dirt and like grass and leaves, And I was like, we don't usually play this loose with this camera, especially not with a microphone on top. I got a really important question to ask you now.
Yeah.
Out of
Go for it.
all of the videos, all of the projects we've worked on together, what has been your favorite, or like what's your like top 3 projects like or videos we've made together? Because we made a lot.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first ever project I think that was my first favorite was the one you were talking about when I was the guy in the snow mask
Oh,
with
yeah.
the
Attacked.
big knife attacked by the
Right, the bit
stranger.
because you also like made like duct tape weapons where they were massive weapons, and they looked really deadly
Real.
and really real, but they were completely duct tape. So it was complete. Like those are sick because they were prop weapons. You could actually hit me with them, and it wouldn't hurt
Yeah,
me, but it looked really good.
exactly. Like it's like mainly made of
Right.
cardboard and duct
Yeah.
tape.
Oh yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so that's your
okay,
top. That was your like first favorite, was the attack by creepy man.
mhm. My second favorite would have to be the very first time we ever went to like a place to go record, and that was at abandoned park. Well, not abandoned park. It was like a park just like a couple blocks from where you are.
Oh yeah. We
But
did
that footage never got like recovered, right? Or was that? Am I wrong about that?
that. I don't 100% remember because I know we filmed at that park a few times.
The first time we filmed there was when I was wearing the hockey mask, being Jason Voorhees.
Oh no, that was recovered because that was with
recovered?
that was with Leon, right? When we did the little short film with Leon.
No. Oh, the before
Before that. Okay, I think
first,
that
like the first
footage
time.
did get corrupted.
Oh shit.
Or it's some. I think it is corrupted. Because yeah, no, I remember what you're talking about now. So we went back and you dressed as Jason, and we did like a whole short film with Leon, like the
Yeah.
Jason Attacks video, where it was complete like silent film, just you chasing him around, and that was cool. You did a good imposing Jason.
I did like I take the idea and like take the idea literally. I just like go for like the character and like the idea how they portray the murderer Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th movies. So I gotta like be intimidating. I gotta be like tall and always like progressing the target as much as I can.
Yeah.
And sometimes letting them have that slight chance to get away until like I'm right there and it's just over for them.
Exactly. Because I remember that night we tried to film the 4th episode in an attempted series, the hide and hunt, which was just like it was just a unique name for hide and seek, where you hunted us in your Jason stuff with a weapon. And we did 3 episodes, and like the first 3 episodes in that series, we all filmed them all in one night.
We did.
It's barely 3 separate videos. There was so much footage, and I was just around my house, and that was fun, and that was creepy.
Yeah,
we went pitch black. It was like 11 at night. House, all lights turned off, and there's just you. Like you. I don't know how you did it without a light, but you just walked around. So if we were outside at one part, and seeing you come walking at us out of the darkness, that was creepy because it was no like, oh, I see his leg coming, quick hide. It was like, okay, do you see him? Do you know where he is? Oh god, he's right there, run.
Yeah.
Because I know we tried doing the different angles, because I remember we tried duct taping a phone to your chest, but that just didn't work out to film it.
That didn't work out as good. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember I hid in the under area of the play structure outside, and I was hiding there. I was like, wow, this is a perfect spot. And I was sitting there with the camcorder, and then and it was like February, so there's like snow out, and I hear the crunching as you're walking around, and I'm sitting there. I can't tell if you're screwing with me, or if you don't know if I'm there yet. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like trying to like be quiet, but because the camcorder had to keep the viewfinder out, there's light illuminating me. So I'm like, oh god, this is bad. And then I hear like you at the door. So I'm like, oh, so I try and cover it the best I can. I turn to the to the door,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you open it, and the moonlight creeps in, and then you lean in. And that was so good.
Yeah, yeah. I come right at you as well as soon as like you're just like sitting there having me on the camera, and I just come right at you. Like, oh my god!
Yeah, and so that was awesome. And we did try it again. I think it was like 2 years later. We tried bringing it back with episode 4 in that park.
Yeah, we did. We tried,
but it didn't actually work out because you and Leon got freaked out. And I've never actually like gotten the full, like, I don't know if you remember really what freaked you guys out a lot, because we completely cut, like, the video just ended there. We're like, yeah, it's time to go, and we left because I was hiding in the trees and you were out seeking, and it was like a way bigger area, way creepier area, and you did have a light, I think.
Have a light. I did. I had my phone.
Just for safety, because there was trees, there was like divots everywhere. It's a stupid risk to take. It is for you to have no light and be walking around in a mask. Because that's just asking for something bad to happen to you or to one of us. But yeah, I remember hiding and going, oh, this is a perfect spot, even though it was completely terrible. But saying this is a perfect spot, and then hearing you guys call for me, and that, like, the video never panned out because of that. But like, I don't know if you like remember what happened, but just want to get like as much as you remember about what happened that night to freak you guys out.
I do remember, actually. It wasn't me that freaked out. It was Leon that sort of freaked out, because as we were recording, when I was looking for the two of you, my GoPro died immediately on a full battery.
Right.
And what was weird is that when I found Leon afterwards, I caught him first, and then I noticed my GoPro's dead. So we call for you. Well, he calls for you, I think. Then we were sitting on a rock, and then he decides to take out his EMF app to like detect electrical phenomenon voices, and we get a few voices, but they were a bit like out of tune. Like we couldn't like hear what exactly they were saying.
Couldn't tell exactly what they were saying.
Yeah, and then to make it kind of creepy is that there was a guy, the front entrance is like
by the bus stop.
Yeah, there, he was just standing there at the bushes, like looking at us. And then when we were looking for you, we was it you that stumbled upon like that blanket and stuff?
Yeah. So what happened with that was when I was going to look for a hiding space for me, I came across all those like children's toys, and I was like, wow, this is creepy. But I don't want to stop things. And I don't want to freak them out, because I do want to get this video, and if I freak them out with this, that might ruin it. So I went and hid, and then you found Leon, and you were calling for me, but I didn't want to come out yet. I was like, oh no, we're gonna. I want them to come find me. I want this to be a video. I want them to actually do the hide and hunt thing. And then Then this is from my perspective, because you had a light. I could see where you guys were kind of. And I saw you guys go, and I kind of knew approximately the area that the children's toys was. And you guys got there, and then you guys both started freaking out and calling for me. And that's when I finally went over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went over, and And so, yeah, what else happened? Like, what else happened? Because between like you guys finding that, and then me coming over, you guys had said stuff had happened, and like you were freaking out, and then you guys showed me the guy standing there watching us, and then we did leave. We were like, yep, we're gonna leave right now. We don't need to play with this.
We're just gonna like drive out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was fine, especially when I heard like the EMFs,
Mhm.
but like until like I saw like the whole like stuff of like the blankets and stuff. I was a bit freaked out, but Leon, I think he was freaked out more than I was.
Leon was definitely freaked out more than both of us.
Yeah.
I think it was partially because he started building what like the backstory of that stuff. Because by the time I got there, he was like, dude, there's probably like a predator out here. Like there's like a child murderer. I was like, whoa. Where are you getting that from? He's like, the ghosts.
He did say that.
Yeah, like he started pulling from the ghost thing, and the guy started showing me that, and then we saw the guy, and that's when we did leave, and that was pretty much the end of that night. But that was definitely a freaky place. That was like a creepy place to be, and I haven't been there. I was gonna say once, but I've been like 4 times since. Only at night once.
Oh.
Only at night once, and I don't remember finding it. But that was a creepy, like going back there. I went with hug pillows, and that was creepy because we were like checking around the playground, and this was during the Cult of Mara series, during the Hunt for the Symbol.
Oh yeah.
Like mini series in it, mini plot point, and so we were searching around there and doing our thing, and it was, I don't remember what time. It was gotta be like, it was late at night. It was like coming out on like 11 p.m. pitch black. We're both there doing our thing, and in character we're talking to each other, and I'm like, yeah, I don't see it, and a voice just like this guy comes, he's like, hey, you guys looking for something? And completely freaked both of us out. And in our heads, we were there for like a good 5 minutes, just standing there, like staring at him. It was like 2 seconds. I was like, no, we're good. And he left. And then freaked out by that guy, I was like, yeah, I don't want that to happen again. Like I don't want people to come walking up on us. So we decided to venture into the trees. And as we're walking in the trees, that's when I tell him about the hide and hunt video with what I found. And I think we actually found it again. But we also got lost while walking through the trees, and like there was creaking, and it was bigger than I remembered it being, to the point that it, like, the light just wasn't enough to see around us and see out, and that was freaking us out. That was freaking both of us out kind of as we were walking through the trees and everything.
Yeah. You know, I was so convinced that you were actually being stalked by someone in that series, which I had no idea for like 6 months of that.
Great segue, because this is actually what I did. This is the big thing I want to talk to you about. Because out of close friends, or people who would just like friends who'd been on the channel in videos and were consistently watching videos, you didn't know about, like, you didn't know it was a series while I was going on. Right?
No, like, I did not know at all.
The entire time you were under the impression that I genuinely had a stalker. Someone was genuinely stalking me, following me around, breaking into my house, doing all this creepy stuff.
I like even helped like depict one of the number codes
you
were
did
sent.
You were one of the people in the beginning, like a very early video in the series where you're like, have you decoded what these say? And at that time I still hadn't decided whether I wanted to tell you it was a series or not, or just let you think it was real. And I was like, no, I haven't had time, I'm not really interested. What does it say? And you're like, this. And you show it to me and you're like, this is creepy. People, like, you have a stalker. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I mean,
like
while doing the series, I felt bad because I wanted to tell you that it was fake.
And then I kept prompting on that, like, for some reason, why haven't they gotten to yet? And then it was just like, maybe someone is actually watching him out there.
Mm. well, like I felt bad not telling you, but I was also so I wanted to see how far I could push it with you as someone who knew me personally. With you still, like, I wanted to see at what point you didn't believe anymore. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you believed until the very end, right?
I believed until you told me that it was like
A series
that you were making.
Yeah,
and
I did, because like I talked to everybody while we were making the series, especially like after you texted me the first time, let me know like what they said. I was like, guys, what do you think? Like, should we tell him? Like, should I tell him? Like, even if he doesn't get involved, and he doesn't like be somebody who's helping out with videos consistently, do you guys think I should tell him? And everyone was like, Liam, that's up to you, but I think it'd be kind of cool for like someone that you know personally to be following the series and thinking it's real. And that's kind of what I went with. And even though like Oliver wasn't super involved with the series, but he was my next door neighbor. And if he believed it enough, like he got freaked out and he called the police, I didn't want that to happen, because that just adds a little bit to it. And that was another thing I was worried about with you thinking it was a series, especially in like later points when I was being still in character, trying to be really like immature and not taking things seriously. And you were like, Liam, you need to take this seriously. Like, this is bad news. At one point, like I did like worry, like what if he calls the cops because I'm not going to? Like, what if he tries to take it into his own hands to figure things out and fix things?
No, there was a point where I was like, I should probably call the cops, but then again, I'm not that good with memory of location wise, so I wouldn't be able to. So whatever I could find information wise myself, then maybe. But I didn't at that point. I was like, maybe I'll just walk. Maybe I'll just fly by, like smoke and wind, just pass by.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't actually like had a full like. I was really looking forward to today doing this, because I've never actually got to talk to you directly about your experience during the series from being a viewer, because I've only been able to talk to people about the series from the other side, from behind the scenes. You're the first person I've talked to that wasn't in the know, that didn't sit here and that wasn't either like just pretending to not know stuff, or that just wasn't involved but knew it was fake. Like, you didn't know it was fake, and you believed it. And during the whole series, like what were the hardest parts to believe that were real? And like what were the videos that were like genuine, like what videos genuinely made you nervous, for me, like worried that something could go wrong?
Someone breaking into your home and putting a symbol on your wall. That was the convincing part. But there were times where I was like, Matthew is gone missing. He's showing these video clips, and it's like, that's kind of sketchy. Like, did they do something to him? And I was like, I don't know.
The Matthew journals were definitely something. They were risky. Just in my mind, I was like, if I don't play this right, if I don't do this right narratively, this is the end of it, because someone's gonna point out a hole. Someone's gonna be like, hey, this doesn't make sense, and then boom, series is done. Like not done, but like a layer of realism for the series that, personally, in my opinion, that added some intrigue, where you actually were like, hey, it's someone's real life. Like, I'm actually interested in what's happening. And with the Matthew journals, I definitely felt like, from the creator standpoint, I was risking it, but I wanted to give, I wanted to give something, because I don't like, especially in like these series, it's a narrative, so there's no, if I can figure out a way to show what happens off screen, on screen, then I should. I don't want to just say like, oh, Matthew went to a cult meeting, Matthew was attacked by the cult, Matthew, all this stuff, like all these things happening, but they're off screen. I just know they happened. That's not as good as showing it. And what happened between us was, from the get-go of the series, from the planning part, before I'd even figured out any sort of finale, anything like that, Matthew was always supposed to disappear because he was going on a trip. And Matthew was always going to be a main figure of the series. So we always built around this idea of he was going on a trip, he was going to disappear at this point, and that was going to be what catapulted the series forward. Because the series there's no, the break-in video is really the turning point. Because if Matthew doesn't go missing and I react the way I did to the character reacts the way they did to the break-in where he just doesn't care, the series is dead there.
Yeah.
Because the video I followed it up with, I'm not making videos on anymore because it's giving it attention and that's obviously what it wants. And I cut it there. Which, like, that's the thing. If Matthew doesn't go missing, there's nothing to push the story forward because Matthew is never going to be able to convince the character to keep going.
Exactly. Yeah.
But if Matthew trying to go on his, so with Matthew going missing, that adds the narrative of, Liam's getting involved. Liam has to play catch up because Matthew's figured all this stuff out, but Liam doesn't even know where to start because he never believed it in the first place. So while Matthew was figuring things out from August to December, Liam starts figuring things out halfway through January. And he finally catches up in April after things have happened and he's already had confrontation with the cult. Just showing Matthew's videos was definitely a risky thing because I had no idea how exactly to get the videos to me, like how to make it make sense for why my character got it. And I ended up doing the bloody package.
Okay. Yeah, that one also convinced me as well that this was real.
But
this was serious.
And that video actually, I had to do a little bit because I remember I posted that video and you texted me saying that's not real blood. Because I'd uploaded it and you believed it, but you also were like, Liam, that's not real blood. And I was like, oh, do I agree? Because I was like, if I agree, what if it starts falling into if the blood's fake, what else is fake? And then all of a sudden, boom, you figure it out. So I was like, oh, I don't know. It might be it might be real. You're like, no, it's way too red. I was like, no, it's just a light. It was dark in the video.
At first I had speculations that the blood was real or not, but after you told me, I was like, oh god, what if it is? Because I know sometimes iron can oxidize to a darker color in blood.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of a few videos that I definitely thought risked the realism of the series. And it mostly was just because of my acting. In that video, it's a package full of blood. If I don't if I'm not acting right with it, it doesn't seem real. And when I first filmed it, I sat down and I watched it afterwards, and I was just like, "Oh, this might ruin it. This might
get me exposed."
This video it's essential. I can't omit this video because this is what gets the video card with the clips to me. But I can't. I have to show it, and I was like, oh, I can just edit it. I can just change how it sounds, how it looks. I can cut it, and I was like a lot of those essential videos, very little editing, because I wanted to make it seem like, oh, this was just one long clip of me doing this, and yeah, that was definitely a risky video just because of the fake blood, and because it's fake blood, I have to try and make it seem like it's real blood. So I was gagging and all this, but then I was like, oh, the gagging, what if it doesn't look real? What if it's too much? And that was a video of juggling everything everything that could screw the series or really cement it in making it seem real. And
right, yeah.
I mean, I used you as a gauge to how if people thought the series was real versus just a series. Where if you believed something that if you believed what was going on was real, then I was like, oh, we're good. It's believable so far. And mostly that was just because you know me. You've known me for years. So if this
Yeah.
seems like a believable thing for me to be doing as a character, or a believable thing that could be happening to me, to someone who's known me for so long, then hey, people who don't know me really well, they're gonna believe it.
Yeah, because one of the main reasons why I believed it to begin with at the first place was, you know, the neighbor by by Sydney's house, that one neighbor that used to live there.
Oh yeah.
And my thought was like, this man is like back, and he's like on the hunt because he was reported for violence
Hmm.
and that sort of thing, and he was a creep, and I was just like, okay, I really hope that's not the case.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I think you were actually one of the first people who told me what the symbol was before I
yeah,
wanted it in the series. Because I had this whole plan where, August, like middle of July, I was gonna figure out what this. I was gonna ask about the symbol because I was gonna make the connection that it was related. And I think it was like May, where you were like, Liam, this symbol is important. This is what it like. I think this is what it means. You didn't have the correct definition, but of course I couldn't tell you that. So I was like, oh, like yeah, maybe. Like I had to play into it.
yeah. But like I mean I saw like the many of the same symbol, but like with different like what's it called, like different variations of it, and I couldn't like determine if this was the same
Yep.
one based off of that. So I just had to go with my gut and know, because I know for a fact that symbol in particular is the meaning of fire. But then again, a single symbol by itself has multiple meanings of what it could mean exactly, not just fire.
No, exactly.
Anything else.
And that was one nice thing about the symbol, was there was multiple meanings behind it, and the symbol itself that we like the meaning behind it that we had chosen. There was like 3 parts to it, and yeah, I had a point in time which, looking back now, that's a little late in the series to be actually thinking about the symbol, but it worked. It worked out in pushing the series. And a big thing was, once Matthew went missing, I had to find a way to push the series another 8 months. I had to find a way to keep it fresh, and so we couldn't be looking for Matthew for the whole 6 months he was away.
Yeah.
Because like now, maybe then, no, like we didn't have the manpower, we didn't have the locations, we didn't have all the stuff, like we didn't have all these ideas and everything to do it all. And ended up happening was we kind of just moved on from Matthew for a while. We just like, oh, he's gone. He's gone. Well, I made my peace with it. It just moved on, which definitely was not the popular decision with a lot of people. I remember getting I got DMs. I got some comments about me, just completely. People just like, you're just forgetting about Matthew. Like he went missing because of you being incompetent, and now he's gone, and you're moving on. And I was just like, oh shit. You're completely correct. This is completely my fault, and I'm completely shitty for doing this, but I don't have a way to keep this interesting.
just grab Matthew, take him out of the category of this idea, and just like go on with it.
Yeah, but like the really nice part was Matthew actually was gone. So I didn't have
that whole time.
He was actually in Hawaii for 6 months. He was gone, so I didn't have to worry about like someone spotting him and then being like, Liam, he's here, like go here. Even though we did have a plan for that. Even though there was like a 0.000 like 6% chance that he wasn't going to be going, I had a whole plan where it would the reveal that he was the leader, a member of the cult. that was going to come way earlier with him being here, but he was brainwashed. He was under control. If he had been here and he was being spotted, which we definitely prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
The cult. What did you think of the cult? From a viewer's perspective, did the cult seem realistic? And like, did it actually seem like something to be worried about, or was it just like, oh, it's just a bunch of people?
At first, in my speculation, like again, I assume it was just a stalker, not that worried about. But then, when I saw like the clips from Matthew that you posted, when I saw the book, and I know I have like an irrational fear of like footage disturbance, because you don't know that kind of stuff is like real or not. It can actually cause disturbance if you look at something at a certain time. It will just start to glitch and like phase out and just be corrupted.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I did the editing of that because I thought that added a cool ambiance. I thought it added to the feeling of the video, but I also thought like, oh, people were gonna be like, why did you edit the video, Liam? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Why aren't you just uploading the straight things?
But that's the thing. Like, you don't know if it's edited or not. Like, you don't know that kind of thing. Like, it raises like the speculation, just like, oh yeah, this is edited, and sometimes, oh wait, no, that's not edited.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't know. Like, that's what causes the confusion of that sort of thing. Like, you don't know specifically if this is edited or not.
Yeah,
that's the magic of it.
Yeah, no, that's 100% correct. Because I generally, when I did it and I uploaded it, I was like, I like the look of it, but this may be going too far. People might just be like, hey, why is it like that? Surprisingly, not a single thing, not a single comment on that. No one said anything about the glitching, and I completely forgot about them. I completely forgot about the glitches because when the book came back in like July, I was editing the video where I have it, and I kind of like I'm going to export. I'm like, wait, I feel like I'm missing something. And then I go back and look at the old videos. I was like, oh yeah, I need a glitch for the camera every time it's on the book. And I mean, that worked out. But
fine.
Yeah, but like I if I hadn't remembered the glitches, that could have like completely screwed with the in-universe power of the book, which I still have.
Yeah.
And the book, it's pretty much empty. Very like there's a handful of pages in the beginning, like majority of the pages in the beginning filled out, and then there's space throughout, and at the end of the book there's stuff in it, but like it's very empty because I thought it'd be cool to do symbols, and the symbols took forever to draw and to put in.
It's an unfinished Necronomicon, basically.
Pretty much. It's very much inspired by Slender Man, like the pages.
The arrival kind of deal.
Yeah, like the inside of the book is very much inspired by. There's like, run, help me, he sees everything, like, or like, yeah, like stuff like that. I think it's cool. I always thought it was super cool. But yeah, so you thought like it was like a believable kind of cult, like it didn't come off instantly as like, oh, sure.
It didn't come off like it's like, oh yeah, sure, it's a cult. But after like I saw like this is not a stalker. This is someone out to get you.
No, that's good. That's what I wanted. This is important because I don't think I've actually told you this. Like told you this. In the video with Matthew going to the cult meeting, there's 3 members there. Do you know who each member was?
I actually thought it was different people, but I don't know who was there. I would assume you were part of it. I would assume you were part of it as well.
I was. I was the one holding the book. I was the leader in that video. I was the cult leader. I was also the cult leader when I attacked Matthew in the final Matthew Journal video.
Oh yeah, you were, weren't you?
That was me. Yeah, I tackled him, and that has probably my favorite accidental shot. where his camera fell and snow dropped on the lens and it like leaned perfectly to where you could see me punching him and then dragging him away.
It's just it gives it like that sort of like that like blind that you don't know what's happening, but he's getting pummeled by you.
Yeah, well, we tried it again in the very like end of the series, and it didn't work out quite as well. Where I get attacked, and then things happen like that. But that was completely accidental, and that completely worked out in my favor.
Yeah,
because it looked so cool.
Shots like that are guaranteed gonna be good instead of like retaking it again.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I was the cult leader. I was the one with the book. That was me. And then any guesses on who the other two were?
Oh, you have a few friends.
I do.
It was either I can only think of three. It's either Reese, Oliver, or Leon.
Wow. No, this was no.
Oh,
it was Shy and Cameron actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did consider getting people outside of outside of our inner circle to come be the cult members, just to keep it from like, so people can't be like, oh hey I recognize them. But it was before Cameron and Shy, like we filmed that before Cameron and Shy had been introduced as characters, really. And so I was like, you know what, we're just gonna go with it. And those two, you can't tell who they are. Me, if I had done any editing, you could tell who I was, because I didn't think about this at the time. I had very notable shoes. My shoes were neon green on the bottom with red lace, like neon orange laces.
Cult members got to be on a budget these days.
Well, filming it, didn't think about it. I go to edit the video, and I'm sitting there watching, like, oh no, because my shoes are full on lit up. Because the lights shining on my shoes. I'm like, oh god, this is bad. And then the microphone was good enough on Matthew's camera, you could hear my voice. So I had to go play with editing on that. So that you couldn't tell it was me, because I was like, oh dude, this is bad. This is just, it's me.
Yeah, when it comes to like recognizing shoes, I am terrible with that. So I wouldn't notice to begin with.
I wouldn't have noticed. Like the first time I didn't notice. I noticed when I was going back through to see if I like, because I'd done the voice, because the voice was instantly recognizable. I was going back through to see if there was anything else, like any slips, anything I need to do. And yeah, that was the one thing I noticed, was my shoes were highlighted enough that I could tell what they were. And so if someone wanted to be analytical and figure this stuff out, they could tell.
They could tell, yeah. But what is it? Here's an interesting question. If any time, if I like during this last video, like if there was a time where you did not expect me to come by and actually see this, would you be able like to improvise that you would like brainwash or something, and I like to help you out? Like me unknowingly what's going on. Like how would you improvise that?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I did improvise because I realized later on in the series that it would have been so self-contained that it was just me, Matthew, Shy, and Cameron, and Oliver in like 2 videos. So I did like the video with Leon. I didn't tell him that it was a series when we filmed it.
Oh wait, so he went. Oh,
the video A Night with Leon, where I asked him for advice. It was complete. It was a real. He genuinely was answering, like not by a script, not by me guiding him. He was answering from what he believed from the videos he'd seen. Where Leon was another person who believed it was real up until the end, or closer to the end. I didn't tell him, but I involved him in the videos. Because I wanted to add people, but I didn't want to add people, if that makes sense.
So like me and him, we did not know what was going on.
No, the only people that knew what was going on was my family, Matthew's family, Cameron's mom, and then me, Oliver, Cameron, Shy, and Matthew.
There was a
We
time
pretty much
when
didn't tell
I was
anybody
like,
else. If someone
there was a
guessed and like if someone directly asked me, I wasn't gonna lie. I told them, but we never like were like, oh yeah, like join in because I didn't have roles for people, and I pretty much, if I didn't have a role for somebody that was reoccurring, like Oliver was brought in because he was next door neighbor, and I needed someone who could easily be a cult member to do stuff. But if I didn't have a role for somebody, I didn't bring him in. I didn't tell him unless I needed to. And so if I had filmed with Leon and he had given me like an answer that didn't work out for how I wanted the story to progress, I would have told him. I would have told him, and then we would have filmed it again with him telling me what I wanted. And so if you had shown up,
yeah.
I would definitely have tried improvising and making it seem realistic at first, where like keeping character and not bringing you in and just have you reacting as someone who didn't know, because I think that's so cool to have somebody not know what's going on and react as I do in the series. But if you had like, while talking or whatever, if you had gone in the wrong direction and pushed and start pushing the series the wrong way or anything, I would have stopped. I would have told you it was a series. I would have brought you in, and then I would have told you what I was aiming for. We would have worked. We would have done it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see that. I definitely see that.
Yeah, like I was always prepared. I was always prepared to improvise if somebody decided to crash a video or decided to show up and insert themselves into it. And I was like, my mindset was, if I don't need to tell them, I'm not going to tell them. So if I can get a video from them where they believe it's real and they're completely reacting as they would, not in any way guided by me, that's even better. It also helps that like you don't have to worry about acting if you're just reacting as you would. If you're sitting there and you're telling me like this is sketchy and shit like that, and you genuinely believe that, it comes across way better than me telling you I want you to tell me this, and you're just reciting what you want. Like in your own way, it could still be really good, but it's not as authentic as it could be.
Yeah, like exactly. Because a lot of things would have to change in that sort of matter. Like, again, like if I came at the worst possible time,
Mm-hmm.
at the sort of point of it, I was like concerned for you, and I was like, oh, well, I didn't know. I wouldn't be mad either way. I would just be like, holy, you got me going on this.
That's how you were at the end, because I did actually worry when the series ended. I was worried that you're gonna be kind of like, why didn't you tell me? Like that was what I was worried about with people. Was people like I knew that was kind of like I knew personally, being like, I was genuinely worried for you, Liam. Why didn't you tell me ahead of time? Why didn't you tell me that this was fake?
My God, why did you tell me it was fake? Gosh,
Yeah.
I thought I knew you. It's not you.
Well, exactly. Like I was kind of worried when the series ended and you had seen the video. I was kind of worried that you're gonna be kind of mad for a little while, and just be like just be mad. Just mad that because you were concerned and you were involved and you did believe it was real, and I was worried that you were gonna be mad that I hadn't told you it was fake. Thankfully, you weren't.
Right.
You were like, you got me good. That was really cool. And then you had a billion questions to ask.
I asked you like quite a few questions there, and
Yeah, the night that I told you, I was like, do you have any questions? You're like, I have so many. And you just started asking. And I just answered.
I have so many. Who's involved? Who is this man? And I think one of the questions I also ask is like, are you gonna like continue this sort of series? And I did say that.
The answer that I gave you at that time, and as well in the Q&A video that we finally did get around to filming 4 months after the series ended, was that we ended it in a way that it could be left open to continuation, but it is a self-contained story. So I could
Right.
never touch those characters again, and it's a self-contained story that's finished. But I could touch it. I could go back and I could write a follow-up. I could write the next storyline in that with those characters in that universe, and it would work because of how he ended it.
Yeah.
I ended it in a way that left some things unresolved, but also resolved it in a way. Because technically in the series, characters like Liam, the character, he's still marked. He never got out of it. So if one day I did want to go back to it, we could approach from that point, that angle of trying to finally break the mark. Speaking of how I ended the series, just we are like just over an hour in, last a little bit.
All right.
That last like 2 weeks of the series where videos were pumping out and they were becoming bigger and bigger, where it was me and somebody searching around for actually that the last 2 months of the series, my character, like things kind of went like they escalated quick. Matthew showed up again. I broke into Matthew's house. Shy threw stuff around my house and like yelled at me, and we kind of had like a big fight. We had a falling out, and then me and somebody go searching like all these different locations like late at night, and like out of all those videos, like what did you think of those videos, like specifically like the break-in video when I break into Matthew's house?
Like, I was kind of like, I was like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Someone's gonna call the police on you. But I was like genuinely like convinced that the whole thing was real.
I mean,
What was going on?
even though you're my friend, were you like when I was going off the rails in that point, like when the character was like, you know, kind of losing it and breaking into like Matthew's house, confronting Matthew, even when like just going kind of like, we need to do this, I don't care who likes it or not. Did you at one point you were just like, did you stop rooting for the character and it, like just kind of like stopped, like just even like for like a video or like a few minutes, you're just like, he's not the nice, like he's not the good guy anymore. He's starting to fall apart. In those last few minutes, did you sit down and be like, he's starting to fall apart?
Yeah, actually, I was at a point where I was actually very worried about your current state. I was like at a times like I could have done something, but again, I did not want to get involved in this whole thing because I would have been probably targeted myself as well. But since this was like a series, then I like understand completely. And since you had me going the whole time, and honestly, when I found out, I was relieved. I was relieved, but partially happy, mad at the same time.
No, that's good. I wanted the character to seem like he was losing it at the end.
Right. Yeah.
Like as soon as Matthew showed up again, I stopped shaving. My hair was growing out, and I kept letting it grow out to like just like where it stopped looking good, and it was just like it helped me look disheveled and kind of crazy. And then as the videos went on, and my character was becoming more and more desperate, my hair was becoming more of a mess.
It was.
Where even looking, I have one video where my hair is like, it's completely back, it's completely kept, and then in some other videos it's like it's in my eyes, it's everywhere. And I wanted people to like look at that and be like, wow, he's not in a good place. Like he's
not doing well.
He's not doing, no, because the character wasn't doing well. He was starting to fall apart. He was becoming desperate. And outside of the series, like outside of just comments, I did get a few people ask me, like at work,
How
you know,
That was something I've always wanted to ask myself. That was, but I didn't know how to like approach it.
Yeah, I did have people at work, not just coworkers, but like people that had been like that come and swim regularly and like knew me, kind of just recognized me, and just seeing how I looked, some people were like, "Hey, are you okay? Like, is everything okay? Because you do look like you look like a bit of a mess. Like you are falling apart."
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, hell yeah, like that's what I'm going for. I was committed to it because I didn't like it all. I didn't like the long hair being a mess all the time, and the facial hair growing to like really long lengths.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's not as good as his. It wasn't as good as his.
I am Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And yeah, no, I was like, you know what? I'm okay with people like I'm okay with people thinking I'm a little unhinged right now, because I was. The character was unhinged. He was falling apart. He was losing it. He was desperate, and he was so desperate that he wasn't caring about who he was hurting and like what he was doing, which was like the screwing Shy over, the ruining that night, having them over for that, and then the fight with all of them.
Right, yeah.
And like just altogether, that was something I chose to commit to, because I totally could have kept myself well kept and just my actions be the unstable part. But I wanted to go for the visual part where I was unstable, and all throughout the series, looking at how I was at the end, you could see through the series when the character is falling apart a little bit. Visually, I start looking unkept, and then when I start recovering, I go back. And it happens a few times through the series where like the facial hair starts growing out, the hair is a mess, and then something good happens and I'm clean shaven, hair is fixed, and then it goes back to it, and then back, and then back.
Yeah.
And that happened a few times through the series just because I wanted the visual. I wanted the visual thing, and I also, that was the first time I tried growing my facial hair out. I was hoping it grew faster and more, because I wanted a long ass beard that looked like that didn't look good, and the hair, like I wanted to look really, really like messed up. I wanted to visually people to look at me and go, "Oh, he's not okay." And I got that result, but I wanted to go a little bit farther. I wanted a little more.
I want a little bit more of that insanity in my mind.
Exactly.
Give me some of that good stuff. Oh!
Alright.
Insanity level increased to 100%.
Alright. The final thing I wanted to ask you. The last few videos, specifically from the Making Amends with Shy to Final Transmission, which is the final video of the series. Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts of that point, which was me fixing things with Shy, and then the next video we go and find the location, I go missing, and then Shy and Cameron looking for me, and then them getting attacked and killed by the cult leader, who turned out to be Matthew, who had tied me up and I was covered in blood. And I looked like I was about to be sacrificed, and then me going and just those videos. Just like what was your impression of those videos first, and then because the final video does take a step in the direction of revealing it's a series before it even finishes, but just before that, like those 4 videos of the end of the series.
Yeah. Okay, so what I thought is that in those videos was like a lot of like drama between between you and Shy.
Yep.
And when you went missing, like this like became very serious. Like you were gone and they were out looking for you, and then I was under speculation, just like
because it like when I got like the first video had ended with me getting attacked.
Yeah,
which mirrored, it actually mirrored Matthew getting attacked perfectly because we switched roles. When Matthew was attacked, I was in the cult uniform. He was being attacked. In that video, I was being attacked. He was in the cult uniform, the cult garbs, and he attacked me.
Yeah, like those two videos like are perfect copies of each other. Like they're the exact same image, but each character is being attacked by like the same approach of what happened by approaching these cult members.
But like,
yeah, like
drawing those similarities. When we're attacked, we're both very similar, but also very like Matthew. He's keeping things together. He's doing this to help other people.
Yeah, that's right.
Like he's doing that to help himself, but also help me, which is what he's gotten involved because he's trying to help me. And so when he's attacked, he's kind of like not desperate, but he's sure of himself. When I'm attacked, I'm kind of like I have nothing left to lose. Like I'm desperate to save myself. I'm trying to fix things. And I'm just like I'm a mess in that video when I get attacked.
Yeah.
Just before I get attacked, when we're deciding whether or not we're splitting up, I'm like yelling at them. I'm pissed at them. Like, Liam, it's so dark. I'm like, I know it's dark. Just you guys go off together. You guys can stay together if you're so scared. And then I'm gonna go off on my own. Just figure it out. Find the symbol. We need to do this.
Yeah, I like at that point I thought like you were like very serious and very upset at the point when like your friends are like concerned of the whole situation, but you're desperate. Like it's like a selfish, desperate act just to find the single icon that has a connection to what's been going on.
No, absolutely, and that was on purpose. It was meant to be. Matthew wanted to use people to help and to like figure things out and make it better. I was using people to like my character was using people to help himself. The whole point of anybody on being there was so that I would be fine, that things would work out for me, and knowing how those 3 videos end with Cameron and Shy getting beat to death by Matthew and like being killed in front of me. Like knowing that like literally I make amends with Shy and I get him to agree to come help out. And literally 3 videos later, he's dying because he's agreed to help out. Like, did you think like after watching him get attacked, did you sit down and be like, Liam could have left Shy alone? Liam could like by making amends with Shy at that time, he brought Shy to his death. Like, what did that ever cross your mind? Thinking like, because I made amends with like the character made amends with Shy at that point, that he then is the cause for Shy's death because Shy was completely uninvolved from that point up until that point.
Again, like it was like the way you were portraying it at that point after you made amends, after like you looking for the whole thing, it was like it was being selfish. Like she died for no reason. She was just trying to help a friend out at that point, just to this is see it's fine, like it's not serious, but you were taking it serious. But when it happened and at the end and both of them are dead on the ground, you're just at the point of like, you know what, just do it, I've got nothing left. And then at that point after, and I'm just here like, if he's actually gone, then who's posting the video?
Yeah, well, like in that final video, I like Shy and Cameron get killed, and Matthew attacks me. I get down, I attack Matthew, and I kill Matthew. I don't sit there and be like, "Are you guys okay?" I run, I leave.
You leave.
I leave right away. Like and that follows. Like the characters become selfish at the end, where he got Shy and Cameron involved to help find Matthew because Matthew's missing because of him. And by the end, he's now used Shy and Cameron and Matthew, but not like he used Shy and Cameron to help himself. Now he's warped that. Yeah, he got them involved to help Matthew, and now he's warped that. So now they're helping him without even like knowing it. And now the final transmission. That video I discussed with Oliver and Hug Pillows in the first episode of the podcast. That video takes a very different turn where as soon as the video starts, it's very much less in the way that the rest of the series has been filmed, because it's cinematic.
Exactly.
It's all these cinematic shots of me driving, and then it's me driving and like flashbacks to what's happened there, and then blood coming off and flashbacks, and then me coming in and actually seeing like everything set up, like all the symbols, like everything from the cult set up there, sitting there on the chair.
Yeah.
And then it does that little montage through like all these different clips from the series of like these important points of like Liam, like all this different stuff, like these important points that show the de-evolution of the character, but also like the progression of the whole series.
Yeah.
And then it's a sit down little monologue, where I do like the whole, the character admits it's all his fault. It's like he does this whole like little remorseful speech, and then gets up, and then it kind of ends there, and it's pretty much just saying like, I'm done. Like, I'm not making any more videos. I'm leaving. I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore. Like, they're dead because of me. It's all my fault. So there's a little bit of remorse there. And then boom, I snap. I'm out of character, and it's me. And I kind of get up and I turn off the camera. And
yeah.
What were your thoughts of that video? That last video from someone who believed the series was real throughout the entire thing, and from someone who was just on the outside, not knowing, like not being a part of the creation of any of this, just seeing it. What were your thoughts?
Like, I thought you were serious about that, and I think that's when I texted you. Like, I think I texted you after I watched that video, and then you tell me that it was just a whole series that you were making.
I remember that. Because what happened? Sorry, go ahead.
But I believed it. Like, I thought it was real. But as a concerned friend, I would just be like,
yeah,
come on, you can't be serious. Are you gonna be okay? Like, is this gonna affect our friendship?
Yeah. Well, because what I did was, those videos were all filmed and they were coming out, and I had them scheduled, and I completely stayed off social media. Like, I would post them on my stories and stuff, like my social media, I promote them, but I wasn't like, guys, check out this video. It was just like, here's a link to this video.
Here's a link to the video.
The video is there. And then after the final transmission came out, I did not text anybody for a few days. So you texted me like the night the video came out, and I waited like 2 days before I actually texted you back. Just because I wanted it to linger. I wanted it to linger a little bit, with people like having to be like, wait, was it all fake, or what's going on? And then my announcement video of me like back, and from that final speech with the little monologue of the character taking responsibility and being kind of remorseful, did you kind of like, how did you feel about the character at the very end? How did you feel about me as a character at the very end? Like, not just like worried, but like after I'd been so selfish and I'd become so unstable. I'd been falling apart, and I'd gotten people killed because of me. Like, that final monologue showing like a little bit of remorse. How did you feel about the character?
Well, the character would be going through so much amount of stress and frustration, to a point where it's like they don't know like what's real, what's not real anymore, and just to like, is always stressed out at every point and every time, frustrated at your friends. But then after like you see them there, and you just realize that he like this man has been so selfish, and
Yeah.
he is being punished for this sort of thing. He's being punished because of his own self-righteous thoughts, and is unable to take control of his own emotions, trying to keep a cool head.
Hmm.
Basically, yeah,
So, like,
that's what I thought.
in the end, did you forgive the character for like what he had done in the very end?
Well, it's not his fault for what happened,
Mhm.
because he didn't
I mean,
know what was gonna happen.
in a way, it was because he knew how dangerous it was, and getting Shy and Cameron involved did
But
lead to their deaths.
either way, what happens, I would still forgive them, because I know this person to heart, and I know they wouldn't do this for unless they were actually trying to look for someone, and they happen just to have themselves get killed off.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
No, thank. I've always kind of been interested in your insight into this because you were first and not involved with the series, because you know Matthew, Shy, Cameron, Oliver, they were all involved in the series. To what degree, that depends on each person, but they were all involved in some shape or form with it. And so even if they were viewers, they were always creators first, like creators of the series first. They were involved in that creation process. So just to be able to get like the viewer perspective from you as someone who's just on the outside watching it and making judgments about everything that's happening and like all the characters in it, that's interesting. So
Yeah.
all right, well, that's the last topic. So thank you so much for being on the podcast today, coming on for the for episode 3.
Yeah. It's not a problem.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you being along for the first ever virtual episode of the podcast. It's always so nice to have people on, and it was definitely a great time talking to you tonight. Do you have anything you want to promote? Anything you want to shout out?
I want to shout out for my friend's channel here. You should subscribe to him. He may not have much at the moment, but I tell you, he with much creativity and thought, there's always a lot to get from his channel. I suggest subscribing, liking his stuff. Yeah, and if you want, you can come to my TikTok and check out the stuff I make there.
That'll definitely be linked in the description.
Yes.
Awesome.
For sure, yeah.
Sure. No, thank you for shouting me out.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you so much for being on the podcast for today. I definitely some good topics, things I've always been interested in finding out about. So I was definitely interested in today's topic, so I hope everybody enjoyed that. And now it is customary that we do end the episode of the podcast with a little bit of ASMR. So,
oh God,
I love you. Just into your mic. Just do any kind of ASMR you want. Just go for it.
Is this fine?
Oh yeah, we just go right into it. We just go.
No, I can't.